Cool, and we are live. Let me turn my webcam on. There we go. Completely forgot to turn my webcam on. But yeah, we're live today with Feudalz. How are you, my man?
Professor, how's it going? Thank you for having me on. Appreciate you guys showing love to the Feudalz fam.
Yeah, it's good to have you on, man. Let's wait like a few more seconds while
Sure.
everyone joins in, and for now, I'll just run around and showcase everyone the artwork. This
Love it. Love
majestic.
it.
What's the story behind this guy? He
So
looks like
that,
some kind of king.
yeah, he's that's an orc. It's like an orc king, and as I'll get into in a little bit, orcs are responsible for kind of inflicting the menace upon the humans, and they kind of rely on the elves to defend against these orc raids. And those are the elves on the left side, the purple one right there, and then believe that's a human with like a little jester hat.
Yeah, sounds like a pretty intense story, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know
there's
if I'm
a
ready.
we have a I like to joke around and say we have our own J.R.R. Tolkien on our team. Vidor, shout out Vitor. He writes a ton of lore that interweaves kind of all the characters and elements within the game, and yeah, it's on our website, and it's pretty much like like a novel. You can get pretty deep into the lore, which is pretty cool.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I guess we can go into all that pretty soon because I have checked your website and there is a lot of things that we can talk about. So,
Yeah.
but first, let's do a quick intro.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Sesh, community manager for Feudalz. Also a musician and photographer, but ended up being onboarded onto that NFT scene in September. And then in November is when Feudalz was launched with a bunch of my buddies, Sarah, the founder, and then Malk is our amazing artist. And Gals and Luis are our main devs, and then we also have a dedicated game dev team. Shout out Wilson, Dudu, Gui, Lucaso, all those guys. So very, very strong team. Love our devs. Well, I might be biased, but I always say we got the best devs in the game. They're complete rock stars. And then our artist Malk also, she's not just an artist, she does so much more. She's kind of the backbone of the project too, so major love to the team.
Okay. I mean, that's great. Imagine being in a team and saying that the devs aren't good. So it's a good thing that you think the devs are the best. Could you give us a background of the project and what it is all about?
Yes, sure. So we're kind of a bunch of nerds that were into like Monty Python and League of Legends and those type of vibes, and we kind of saw a trend of people doing like with the futuristic like cyberpunk vibes, and we kind of wanted to go in the opposite direction and do some more like medieval vibes with our project. So in essence, it's it's a play to earn PvP game with a utility token called Golds. And when we launched our Genesis collection in November, completely stealth launch, we had the project ready to go for months, but I guess it was kind of serendipitous how we timed the market with their kind of fervor for play to earn games. We're still all early in the NFT scene and even earlier on PTE, and I think we were kind of one of the first projects to deliver those play to earn mechanics, actually deliver a game, have staking. So the Genesis collection are the humans. Those the humans are what you stake to earn passive golds, which is our token. And then your golds accumulate in what's called the vault, basically like your treasure vault where the golds accumulate. When you want to withdraw your golds, that's when the orcs come and raid, and then you can hire elves to defend against these orc raids. And so everything in our that's basically the staking game. Everything is based on a dice roll mechanism, like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. So based on so females produce more golds than males, but males have a defense bonus when you're being raided by the orcs. So like depending on how many elves and males that you have, and depending on that determines the dice roll value for when the orcs raid your vault. So sometimes you can get lucky if the RNG god's in your favor and the orcs won't take any golds when you withdraw, but the maximum amount they can take is 50%. So that's kind of a high level of the staking game. Then we're 2 patches into our PvP play to earn game, which is the lands basically. So we do have another collection, which is the lands. If you own one piece of lands, that's what gives you kind of the entryway into our game. I don't know if you want to show the infographic, but it's kind of explains everything I'm saying here. But the lands, basically people get matched up, your lands versus another person's lands, and then based on the assets that you have, you get a defense or attack buff. So like based on the rarity of your lands, based on the rarity of the humans that you have, and then also other assets like how many orcs you have, how many elves you have, and we also have a couple other collections, which are the animals, which we airdropped to everyone as well, our Genesis holders. So again, it's a dice roll mechanism. So kind of based on the assets that you have and the rarity of all the assets, you roll, you can, if you roll a certain percentage higher than your opponent, you receive golds. So I can actually, walk you guys through and kind of show you guys how the game works as well. But that's kind of a high level situation of the game.
Okay. I mean, if you are able to show us how the game works, I don't think the community would mind.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me share my screen here.
It's interesting because I've never played a game like this. It's really odd because it's these type of games are very popular, but I guess I just never gravitated towards them. So why did you decide to do a stealth launch?
So to be honest, we had the game ready to go for a couple of months. Oh no. I'm running into something where I have to give permission to Google Chrome to share my screen. 1 second.
Sure.
So let me just explain the stealth launch real quick. So we we had the game ready to go for a couple months, and it's kind of a funny story. I was getting ready to go to bed one day, and we have our own Discord server that we talk on, and then just randomly one day the devs were on go, bro. Like, I was like about getting ready to say goodnight, and they were like, just randomly, they're like, let's launch this tonight. And I'm like,
Wow.
seriously? And I was like, oh, okay, this is actually real. And so they kind of stayed up all night. I think they kind of knew something was in the air with the way that the markets were going and everything, that they just felt it was right. We kind of had it ready to go, but kind of stayed up all night, and we launched in the wee hours of the morning, I think around 6 a.m. And we had sold out by 7 a.m. And so there's no
Wow.
really rhyme or reason. It wasn't super calculated, anything, kind of just going off of a feeling. And it paid off. And kind of overnight we kind of had this passionate community overnight that kind of understood the vision that we had put forth.
Yeah. So it sold out in 1 hour.
Yes.
Wow. That's quite impressive actually. With stealth launch. Yeah. So is that your screen or
Yeah, can you see it? It's working.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So this is our main site. This is what I was explaining before. So you come to our main site, you can click on here. As I was saying, this is the whole lore, the races, the magic. It's pretty intense, like I said before, but for those who are, kind of into the J.R.R. Tolkien type stuff, they'll enjoy this lore. So then we also have our white paper, the Feudalz guide here, which we're actually in the process of updating because of our V2. And then
Mhm.
so we have our vault here. This is where all the golds from your humans working accrue. Um, so something cool that we implemented is most of our 90% of our mechanisms are now off chain. So before, when you went into the vault and you would withdraw, like you saw the withdraw button before, you would have to go through MetaMask and everything and have to pay a gas fee. So now what we actually did was we implemented the bank, which is basically our off chain wallet, right? So whenever you withdraw from your vault, or if you want to mint the orcs or elves, or all the game mechanics are done off chain, so you're not spending any gas at all, even though our dev teams are rock stars and they kind of were pioneers with the gas optimization contracts. um, we wanted to take it a step even further and make it so that our community doesn't have to pay any gas at all. So I think that's kind of revolutionary. So here's where you can see where you choose to stake your humans. You can see your humans working, and then we have this little gold utility here where you can rename all your assets like your humans. Community has fun with that. And then actually we just minted out of all our orcs, and elves are, I think, about 70% minted out. And then we also have something called the arena game, which is kind of like a betting game um, with elves and orcs. It's kind of another utility for our token, where you can bet a gold's amount on either side, and whichever side has the least amount of golds will win. And then a cool little animation like this will pop up if you want to see how to play. And then as I said, we had airdropped one piece of lands to all our Genesis holders and one animals. These actually, guys, make for cool pets within World Wide Web 3. We are integrated into there. And then the game, you can access the game website here, but I'm already in it now here. So our world is called Zestria. You can join the world here. And so these are the lands that we've released thus far, and the lands that are grayed out here are the ones to be released down the line. And I think we'll be, giving away a few whitelist spots for our upcoming landsman. Something to get excited about here too. But Krum Taiga is a part of the snowy region, which is the most rare. Azure Sands is the arid region, which is the next rarest. And then we have the woodland, part of the forest, and Mylene Meadows and Sulfar Greens, which are the part of the grasslands. So you kind of can see here how many you have by clicking on this, how many you have in each lands and attacks and stuff. So you kind of just click on the land here, ready to recharge. So you can recharge your lands here to get ready for an attack. You do have to pay 1 gold per land to prepare for an attack. Click proceed here. And just click raid, and there's a battle log here that shows the history of your battles, your units, how many elves and animals and orcs that you have. And then we also have a leaderboard ranking system based on each biome, the snowy lands or arid lands, and so it kind of adds a competitive level to the game. So let me go ahead and raid here. So right now it is searching for another person's lands to go up against. It's totally random. So I've been matched up against this person's lands. Looks like I have destroyed him completely. Nice little animation there with the magic. Your attack was successful, and I've received 3 golds. Now this golds does go straight into my off-chain wallet, like I mentioned before. And as you see, all these mechanisms, I haven't paid a gas fee yet. So it's kind of amazing. And I have 2 attacks every 24 hours per land. So let me go ahead and do my second attack here. Hopefully I can get lucky again. Kind of a big flex that I won on my first try here.
Is it usually difficult to win?
We try to make the game as balanced as possible. We see here, look, I just got destroyed. So like I explained before, so I still do receive a little bit of golds even though I lost based on the values of the dice roll. So it's getting a little bit more difficult to win these days, but just because I'm a part of the team, and it's kind of embarrassing to say, but our community has way more assets than me. And as I mentioned before, the more humans that you have, the more orcs and elves, you get an attack bonus, right? So these, my attack bonus is only 16.2. My defense bonus is only 42. These go up to 65, right? So there are people with way bigger attack and defense bonuses than me, right? So I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of lucky that I won the first one there. Let me just go through a couple more. Recharge all. So the people who have kind of the more assets are gonna have a higher chance of winning more goals, essentially.
Yeah.
And so we're on the second patch of our first version of the game. We're getting ready to launch V2, which is kind of our actual full version of the game. We're gonna have dropping some alpha here, some more animations, and we're gonna have buildings and resources. Like for instance, these are the woods, right? So you can use the woods, the trees as resources, and build a lumber mill on your lands that will, kind of increase your gold's production.
Mhm.
And then so we have a bunch of resources based on your lands that you can take advantage of, and we'll also be having a golds marketplace where players can actively buy and trade resources in order to build up certain buildings and um, add to their attack and defense and statistics essentially. And another thing that we have added to the game are what's called heroes. And so in the marketplace, you'll be able to purchase a treasure chest where you can draw a hero, which essentially will add more buffs and benefits and statistics. So, like, certain heroes have different advantages, and one and so that kind of opened up opportunity for collaboration with other projects. We just announced one of our heroes will be like a Godzilla from P Gojira, so that's pretty cool. And actually we have another one, alpha alert, breaking news, world premiere. Today we'll be announcing another collaboration. They just hit me up just now, actually. Um, yeah, this is a cool little trailer that we had come up with. Down the road, the plan for V3 is to expand into um 3D realm visually, and this could be kind of a preview of what it could look like. But for now, it's kind of just a fun little uh, game trailer situation here.
Mhm.
We had a cannot confirm or deny, but someone that sounds like Morgan Freeman narrating this video here. But
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So that's kind of a high level of everything that's going on in the game right now.
Cool. And you mentioned that there was separate rarities when it comes to land. How does each rarity affect the gameplay or the benefits to the holders?
Right. So the in terms of the lands, you're gonna get more defense ratings the rarer the lands.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
then in terms of the everything else, let me just go through the um situation here. So uniques get +6 attack bonus, and then up to the 250 rarity you get +5. 251 to 9,009 or 999 is +3. 1,000 to 2,222 is +1. More than that is plus zero point 0.1. So you get an attack bonus based on the rarity of your humans. Orcs, you get +1 attack bonuses for every orcs that you have with a cap of 30 orcs. And then we have rare animals. So, like 10 unique rare animals, one of which is a dragon. So, if you have a dragon as your animal, you get a +10 attack bonus. And so, like, but there's a cap of an attack bonus of 65. But for V2, what we're doing is if you have one of our 10 unique humans, or if you draw a certain hero, it's possible to go even above that 65 cap attack bonus. And then we also have like defense bonuses. So, like, based on like the grasslands have a +10 defense, forest +16, arid +22, snowy +28, and then right now we have our unique lands uh, that are being auctioned off right now. Actually, if you want to share, go back to my screen, I can show off these unique lands real quick. um, yeah, right here. So these are pretty cool. We have these one of one unique lands that
Yeah.
come with their own lore, and then they
Hmm.
also have their own benefits into uh, the game as well. So we have the necropolis, and the Sky Fortress here that are currently being auctioned off with our token. We have the Kraken Port, Mead Hall here, Blood Palace.
I like the palace and the castle. Those
Yeah,
look
it's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
City of Thieves, Haunted Mines, and these have crazy little details. Shout out our game designer Diego. He absolutely killed these and the in-game animations. The Dragon Airy, the Tower of Knowledge, do a little teleportation, and then the Unicorns Groves. But
Cool.
going back to the game fact. So, elves add a plus 1.5 defense, male humans a plus one, animals plus 0.2, golden ducks plus 10 defense, and so um, that's kind of how the rarities, as you were asking,
Yeah.
play a role. Yep.
Cool. And by the way, we are giving away 5 whitelist bots for the upcoming lands mint. So make sure
Hmm.
you type !golds in the chat to enter. Do you
Love
want to
it.
talk a little bit more about how much the mint will be and when lands will be minting?
So where V2 is launching third week of March, which is right around the corner, like
Yeah.
basically next week. And so after that, we launch V2 is when we'll be doing our Landsmith. The specific date has not been announced yet, but it's coming right up in about a under 2 weeks, I want to say.
Okay.
And the price will be 0.06 ETH. Um, for a piece of lands, and I believe we're doing it in three waves. One wave for holders, second wave for whitelist, and then we'll have a public mint. Um, in the public mint, I don't think this will be the case for holders and whitelist, but public mint, I believe it'll be the same as what we did last time, which will be 20 max per transaction. So we kind of also, feel free to join our Discord, and you can check out everything here. We also have these little um, infographics kind of explaining, going deeper into the resources and special features of each lands here. Um, as I said, the resources and special features are going to be something that kick in for our V2 that's launching next week. So, based on the type of lands that you have, you'll be able to use these resources and have special features that will add to your, gold's production and also your statistics for the lands PvP, giving you, kind of that edge in the dice roll.
Cool. Can you talk a little bit more about the utility of golds?
Absolutely. So, uh, Gold's ton of utility coming up here, especially with the Gold's marketplace. That's something that is, let me pull up, huge that we'll be having here. So we'll have, as we mentioned before, the resources that you can add based on your lands, and then we'll have a marketplace that kind of has all these various utilities for your golds, so you can upgrade your feudals cosmetically. We see in gaming, people love, even if it doesn't add any boost to their player Fortnite or whatever, we see how people love upgrading their cosmetics. But then we also have other gold's utilities here, like I mentioned, the treasure chest with the heroes and a bunch of stuff there. And then right now, the unique lands auction is with golds. Also, the orcs minted out, but the elves are currently still minting with golds.
Hmm.
Also, we have some physical merch. I should have worn the hoodie and the hat today, but I did not, and it's not around me. But we have a trucker hat and a hoodie that will be able to be purchased with golds. And then obviously our V2 as well. And we'll be selling. We've been getting a bunch of whitelist opportunities as well recently, which we'll be able to very soon be able to purchase with golds as well. And then even our parent company, they specialize in even making physical goods like headphones and stuff. So down the road, maybe some even Feudalz headphones purchasable with golds, and um, that's pretty much the high level utilities for our token right now.
That's great. I'm looking at the trailer right now.
Mhm.
Is that the trailer? It looks great. It reminds me of RuneScape. So
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that. Our community tends to say we're kind of the NFT RuneScape because it kind of reminds them of similar vibes with the game
yeah,
mechanics and everything. And who knows, down the road for V3, that's kind of our goal to get to that level with the gameplay experience.
that would be a win. That would be a
Hmm.
win. I
Hmm.
love that game.
Yep.
But yeah, how big is the team?
The
Go.
team is pretty big. At the core team is me as the community manager. Malk is the main artist. We have Gals and Louise as the head devs. Sarah is kind of the lead, the founder, and then we have a whole game dev team. Um, Dudu, Lacasso, Wilson, Gui. Then we also have Lucas that helps us with these trailers. Shout out Lucas. Then we have Diego that helps us with the animations that you saw in game, and making the assets with the lands and stuff. We got Rangel, which is kind of our marketing, do it all type of guy. We have Grell, who's our project advisor, and apologize to anybody else that I may have missed. But the
I mean,
team
that's a big team.
is
Yeah,
quite vast. Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Everyone plays their role. Everyone works together extremely well, and I'm super proud of our team. Everyone moves as a unit. We always communicate with each other before putting anything out or making any moves.
Mhm.
We all are on the same page, and we kind of don't, even though I kind of listed off these titles, we don't really see any titles. Everyone kind of helps everyone where they can, and yeah, it's just a great environment to be in. We're all super close and friendly. So, and like I said, we started off as friends first, and then bro,
Yeah.
I'm just a musician and photographer, and I just randomly ended up in this position as community manager for this amazing project. But super grateful. I kind of joke around and say everything I've done in life kind of has led me up to this moment. But I'm enjoying every second, just enjoying the process, learning so much along the way. Super grateful to our community and the team, because I think that's kind of what differentiates Web3 and Web2, right? Web2 companies will kind of just present a game and be like, here's the product, kind of deal with it, and then maybe you get a patch down the road, and it's not even what the community is asking for. But it's kind of my job to not only keep morale high, but also constantly have that rapport and discourse with the community and get that constant feedback and suggestions, so I can take it to the devs right away, and they do an amazing job of implementing all the feedback from the community. Shout out I Big Dallas, appreciate you, bud. But yeah, I think that's something that is amazing about Web3, that we can build a product with our community and constantly improve by implementing their ideas as well. So whether it be Twitter Spaces, or being in voice chat, or just being in Discord, or just I kind of encourage people just to hit me up directly. I I what's the best way to put this here. I put myself at risk with all these Discord spam DMs just so that I can make myself available, because you never know where that genius seed of an idea is going to come from, and really appreciate everyone's voice so we can keep building together.
Yeah, that's a great mindset because at the moment, how many holders does your project have? I'm sure it's like a couple
I think it's
thousand.
around 1,300.
Yeah. So, that's ideas from 1,300 different people. So I'm
Yeah.
sure one of them's going to be golden.
Exactly. And man, no, it's more than one, bro. Like our
Yeah.
our community is amazing. They're super
Yeah.
smart, super big brain. And obviously we know we can't help, I mean, we can't please everyone, but like
Yeah.
whenever there's an opportunity for improvement, we're going to take that every time, especially when it comes from the community.
Yeah. There was a question in the chat by I
Hmm.
am Bongali. What is the
Hmm.
strength of users who play your game?
I think the strength of the users are they understand the people who are in our community, they really believe in us. They understand the NFT space. We're exactly 87% staked. And so from what I've seen, I take a lot of direction from the community. They understand, you know, various game mechanics, tokenomics, everything, right? And even certain utilities. I can't take credit for all the things that we've developed. Literally everything that you're seeing today and will see with V2 it has in one way, shape, or form been brought to us from by the community, right? So it's obvious to me that we have a community full of full of big brained MFers, and we got to constantly keep listening to them because they know what they're talking about. They bring their various experiences um, to the ecosystem. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah. Let's talk about the art because it looks like the project is inspired by CryptoPunks in terms of artwork.
Mhm.
Why did you decide to go with CryptoPunks?
Um, Good question. I think the core team, especially Sarah, he's been around in the NFT space for over a year. So obviously, even Bored Ape Yacht Club, bunch of people kind of have their respects for kind of the OG
Yeah.
project. And like I said before, I think uh, we were inspired and had lofty ambitions always, set our sights high. And I think the core team, when they were creating it, wanted to kind of pay homage, but like I said before in the beginning, go the opposite direction. Instead of like a cyberpunk futuristic type theme, kind of going the opposite direction with the medieval vibes, but kind of maintain our homage to the OGs essentially, and with the pixel art and the styling. But actually, a fun story. The project was initially called Feudal Punks, but
Oh wow.
I kind of came in, and a couple of us suggested maybe let's rename it to Feudalz, and I think it worked out for the better because I think the artwork stands on its own. The traits and everything that you see are pretty unique. Malk did an amazing job of adding a
Yeah.
lot of life and character to the various collections.
Yeah. I think that was the right choice. Feudals does sound a lot better than Feudal Punks.
Right. Exactly.
Cool. Do you think you can expand more on the lore, or is that still currently in the works?
So yeah, the lore. Let me go through here. So there are The lore is so deep. Where do I start?
Yeah.
I could just read off of this thing, but we're gonna be here for like 3 hours.
I mean, you can
Uh,
give us a nice summary to give
okay.
us good idea of what the lore is all about.
Okay. So basically, it's the continent of Zestria, continent of opportunity of conflict. There are many different factions and groups that fight over control for the lands, but no one is powerful enough to unify the realm under their rule. The few individuals that become influential through wealth, magical knowledge, or military might call themselves Feudalz lords. They are the players which engage in the game of armies and lands, bringing war to their adversaries and claiming their fortunes. That's a little background about Zestria, and then there's different races. The first is the humanoids race, where the humans emerged at an age where magic was mild and peaceful. The flow of manas, which is what is the source of all magic that filled Zestria, was subtle by today's standards. However, hidden behind this apparent stillness was a power incredible enough to create life. Um, so unfortunately, the from the spirit of humans progress also comes greed and violence. At the same rate in which humans help their own, they also take from others, making war a common occurrence throughout the lands. Um, and then we have the elves. So centuries ago, there was an alliance dedicated to the study of magics in Zestria. These were the Council of Five. The council would travel to the lands to meet with expert magicians of all kinds to both learn from them and also teach whatever they could. In time, they grew in fame, and all of the realm knew of them and their achievements. So the five Council of Five were the Pearl Sage, the Dusk Witch, the Moon Sorcerer, the Sun Mage, and the Oathbreaker. And so, kind of the elves emerged to kind of protect the humans and uh, dabbling in the forbidden arts. Some of them dabbled in the forbidden arts of dark magics. And that's kind of where the orcs emerged. The orcs are the youngest of all the races. They were never actually meant to be a people and were in fact created through the use of magic to be weapons of war. When Melgor the Black Sun began his first campaigns to conquer the lands of Zestria, he was extremely successful, but soon realized that his military strategies wouldn't be enough if he wished to conquer the whole realm. So much of the Overlord's time was wasted when his armies needed to rest. So many retreats could be avoided if his soldiers were stronger and sturdier. So that's kind of where the Dark Emperor had a devilish ideas, where he could create soldiers strong enough to endure the days of battles so that he could crush his enemies easily. And so, through the use of dark magics, the Black Sun created the first orcs war bands from the humans. So that's kind of a high level. And as I mentioned before, the manaz is the essence of everything in Zestria. Magics, or at least its pure form, is the art of manipulating the properties of said essence to create incredible effects. The laws that govern magics are fundamentally mathematical, meaning that a skilled magician will have to learn how to subtract, add, or divide, or even multiply manaz in order to generate magic spells. And so it kind of talked about the dark magics there. And that's kind of why you see the animation when you win that kind of magic lightning bolt attacking the castle. And then even within the various regions, there are uh, different lore. So the necropolis, unique lands that I showed you, it's up for bid for 6,000 golds right now. Maybe I'll just go through one of those so you get an idea. There's a cautionary tale told to young wizards and sorcerers. It warns of the dangers of exploring old tombs and burial grounds in search of knowledge, for one might discover more than they expected down the dark depths. Primarily, those interested in the dark arts and necromancy may hear whispers, a call from beyond the grave that brings them to discover a hidden palace disguised as an ancient and massive tomb. The necropolis holds forbidden knowledge that many would kill for, but most end up dying in the process of acquiring it and join the hordes of undead that inhabit the lost city. Some have survived exploring the necropolis and brought wicked spells and magics items with them. But if but a fraction of the city's horde can turn a young warrior into a powerful warlord, who can imagine the power of someone able to take the whole city as their own? So, kind of one little example of the lore for each lands there.
Yeah, that is very extensive, and I guess with the type of game that you're building, the lore does have to be very extensive. So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
cool. And are there any plans to expand into the metaverse? I know you talked about World Wide Web earlier today, but are you also planning to expand into the Sandbox or Decentraland or any other
Yes,
metaverses?
absolutely, and that's kind of the long term play, especially with the vision that we had with the lands. And yes, we are already integrated into World Wide Web land. Um, but down the road, our long-term vision, we do think that the metaverse is right now, we see PFPs are popular, but I don't think it's going to be like that uh forever, right? People want to see utilities come to fruition with NFTs, and I think metaverse is probably going to be one of the biggest plays. And definitely, love everything that's going on at SandStorm, and would love to expand. And I think our branding and everything lends itself to expansion into like a SandStorm metaverse, as you can see in our trailers there with the voxel type art.
Yeah, cool, awesome. And do you already have plans on what you're building in the Sandbox or World Wide Web?
Um, we have a broad general idea, but our team is kind of head down focused on all the gold's utilities and getting this game out, kind of our reputation and everything that we've been working for since November kind of relies upon, because V2 is kind of the main launch of the game. What I
Yeah.
showed you is kind of just our first version. Everything kicks in with all the complex game mechanics. It's a super sophisticated game. As you
Hmm.
said, like it's kind of the RuneScape of the NFT play to earn sphere.
Yeah.
So I think after we successfully, launched this game, and we kind of just opened it up to beta testers to like a closed beta to certain individuals. But like after we launched this game, and of course we're probably going to have more suggestions from the community to make some more patches, make it even better. But yes, we have a high level idea, but I think nothing concrete we can share just yet.
Yeah.
And we'll have to kind of go to the drawing board after we launch the game to figure out exactly what we want to do.
Sure. Yeah, that's completely fine. This type of stuff takes a lot of time, so
Exactly.
uh,
And that's another thing. We're kind of building this for the long term here.
yeah,
Everything, all the decisions that we make, and the metaverse, as I said, is the long term play of the long term play, right? So
yeah,
we have time to figure that out.
yeah. And I have the winners of the whitelist giveaway:
Let's
Super
fucking
Rogers,
go.
Little Youngster, Johnson 009, Polly 886, and A123OP. I have
Congrats.
typed it in the chat so you guys know who you are. Congrats. You've earned some land. Have fun. Seems like a very fun project. So
Super fun. And to be honest, like the people who join our community and join the play the game, and it seems to be very well received within the community. And you know, we're expanding even more in V2, so it's very
Mhm.
interactive. People kind of get addicted to raiding, as we say, and every day people are like raid time, and we share some gifts and stuffs in there. So
Yeah.
I think once you get into the ecosystem, it can be very enjoyable and addictive.
And for my last question, what is the grand vision of this project?
So like I said, and we kind of already touched on it, um, have that League of Legends RuneScape
Okay.
type game on the blockchain essentially, right? But at the same time, implementing ways to where our community can save on gas and stuff. But um, we'd love to we have the game mechanics, everything down now with the launch of V2, but if we can expand visually, um because at the end of the day, all play to earn games kind of are at mercy of the tokenomics, and at the end of the day they're playing to earn, right? As
Mhm.
mentioned in the name. But I think that when it comes down to it, you got to make a game that's fun, and something that people are going to come back to and have fun playing, right? And so I think now that we have the game mechanics down, expanding visually, making it more interactive down the road with 3D and stuff will be of importance.
Yeah, I mean, there are always going to be people that play to earn, but if the game is fun, people will come back
Exactly.
despite how much they're earning. So I think that should be a major priority going into for all future games.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much about it. Is there anything else you would like to mention?
Um, right after this, we're gonna announce our next big collaboration. Stay tuned. Uh, yeah, Heroes,
Congrats.
our next big Heroes collaboration with a project that we really respect. Our first one we already announced, P Gojira. I think people will be surprised with our next one.
It's going to be exciting.
Yes.
Exciting times. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that stream and I hope you enjoyed learning about Feudalz. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, SandStorm Meetup, for having us, Professor. Appreciate you, fellow Brown brother. I can see here. Always nice. Appreciate the community for coming through, asking great questions. Thank you guys once again. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, and thank you all. Thank you to thank you. I'm terrible at outros, but thank you to those that tuned in, and I'll see you again very soon. Peace out.